Oh, so Nacht is not a girl, huh? I totally watched that one, huh? So Black Clover, chapter 262. Got a couple things to talk about with this one. A very intense captain's meeting. Nacht looking like a badass character. Also got to correct myself on a couple of things. I guess let's address it now real quick in the intro. Yeah, so Nacht is a dude. My bad. I don't know what the hell I was thinking. I mean, I guess it kind of looked like I was just going off like the eyelashes, the long hair, shit like that. But yeah, I botched that one. Nacht is clearly a dude. It's evident or whatever. So yeah, Nacht is a dude. Also the thing with Ghosh. Apparently I messed up on the situation. I misread what was said regarding Gray's powers, the ability, the transformation magic. She actually didn't mess him up beyond belief. She actually repaired him beyond belief. So yeah, my bad on that one too. Two little errors in last week's review. I apologize. I fucked up. I'm human, goddammit. But this chapter, fam, the captain's meeting. I was like, woo, we going here, fam. Seeing all of the captains together, and I ain't gonna lie. It was intense, people. It was intense. We in that Black Clover greatness. We gotta rescue Yami, fam. We gotta do it. All the captains agree. I agree. We gotta rescue our captain. Well, not their captain, our captain. You know what I mean. Like, yo, people, let's talk some of that Black Clover greatness. We got some things to talk about today, lad. Let's do it.
I say we gonna do what we do, no matter how you move, make your move. That's how it be, though.
Okay, so the chapter picks up where the last one left off with Asta. Asta talking with Nacht, and yeah, we get a little more insight into Nacht, as well as that little imp devil on his shoulder, which we get his name, which I want to say it's pronounced Gimodello or Gimodello. I hear Modello and I'm thinking like, oh, so Nacht likes to drink. But Gimodello starts saying like, oh, this shorty right here, and Nacht is like, yo, you know, you're shorter than him. And we get already some information on Gimodello. He's like, come on, fam, you know this isn't my true form. So definitely interested on this whole debacle and what's up with Nacht and this devil. For starters, why is this devil so friendly and so chummy with Nacht? It seems as though like they're cool. They're friends, and it's not like a similar situation of like, let's just say Asta and his devil, that he don't even know him, he don't even talk to him, and when he does talk, he just kind of says some, oh, okay, you want to borrow some power, give me a fucking arm or some shit. Or the relationship between the Dark Triad, which those are obviously some really fucked up and dark people. So it's the first time we've actually got to experience like a more light-hearted relationship between a human and their devil. And also finding out that Gimodello probably could go into ginormous form. How the hell is this devil even around in the real world without doing anything? A lot of questions immediately come to my mind, because besides that one devil, and I can't remember his name, the one that masterminded the whole elf invasion and everything, aside from him, I don't think we've seen any of the devils come over to this side. Asta's devil's in the grimoire. The other ones, they have a deal, and I think they could possess their bodies, but we haven't seen that. Maybe Gimodello actually possessed something else, and that's how he's here. Either that, or yeah, I don't know how the hell would Nacht have a devil in the real world, and why hasn't he been dealt with? You gotta think about that too. Hold on. Well, I guess because it's a big secret, right? That Nacht is even a part of the Black Bulls. It's probably on a need to know basis, because let's not forget, let's backtrack a little bit. It was a big deal where we had Asta, they were trying to get him out of the kingdom, and he's basically supposed to be out of there by now. Like, we can't forget that plot point. And it was all because of his affiliations with devils and shit like that. Likewise, they were coming after Nero for her being a devil, seemingly, or with the horns and shit like that. So why wouldn't they give that same treatment to Nacht, other than the fact that he hasn't really been around? So we still got to explore more of his backstory, because Nacht explains that Yami arbitrarily made him a member, which I'm curious. Again, I need that flashback. I want to know how the hell this all came to be, because he talked a lot of shit about Yami. In the last chapter, he was basically saying he's a rotten man, terrible man, all of this shit. And in this chapter, he's like, oh yeah, I hate him. Makes sense also why he's only been back to the base once, which I ain't gonna lie, I'm still going to throw out the possibility that this could be somewhat of a, like, switcheroo. And I know earlier I was like, yo, yeah, it's a man. I mean, it's clear as day that the character is being presented as a man, right? But who knows? Maybe there's a possibility that this is actually a female that wants to be a man. Similar to, like, what's going on at One Piece right now with the character Yamato. And I'll leave it at that without jumping into spoilers. Maybe it's something along the lines of that. Again, that's just throwing shit out there. For the most part, yeah, that's a man. I just had to throw it in there. And also, we got some good news, because Nacht says, no, Yami's still alive. I've been spying over there. I wonder how often Nacht has been going to the Spade Nation, and how much Nacht actually knows, considering, like, if you have all this intel and shit like that, there's clear strategy that can be formed because you've been back and forth. You know what their ultimate goal is, aside from, of course, opening the gates to Demon World. You know what's up. And that right now, Nacht is one of the most key players if you think about it. And that was a great setup because it's not like Tabacha just sprung this on us right now. It was chapters ago that we saw that he was spying on the Spade Nation and all of that shit, which kind of makes sense. It all adds together of like, oh, Nacht has the info to keep things afloat, which also means that Nacht more than likely knows they haven't been able to do the tree I can't fucking pronounce that shit to save my life, but they probably haven't done the tree thing yet to open the gates to Demon World. I mean, Yami's still alive, right? And I'm imagining if they do that, Yami and William Vengeance are going to be sacrificed and die. And Asta asks Nacht, hey, please help me learn my ability. Help me learn how to use this devil ability, my devil powers and whatnot. And Nacht says, yeah, sure, but I haven't seen any ability. So definitely Nacht's humor is fucking top notch. He don't give a shit. He's gonna talk shit to you, about you, in your face. Like, yeah, really dry guy. But also, again, it confirms that there's going to be more training, and I think y'all know how I feel about it. As I said in my last video, it's like, hey, we had a big time skip filled with potential to train, and it seemed as though early on in the time skip when Asta, like, you saw like his devil hovering over the city and shit like that, it looked as though he had a good grasp of his devil powers. But now, like, him asking Nacht, like, yo, help me to learn, and of course, because he has that right arm now that has been sacrificed essentially to his devil or whatnot. So there's more training inbound for the characters, clearly, and I mean, they're way underpowered compared to the Spade Nation and shit, so it's gonna be necessary. But again, it's giving me vibes of like Naruto after Shippuden. Like, fam, you went away for 2 years with Jiraiya and you just learned a really big Rasengan, what the fuck? And then they take a little bit of a rest. Nacht is like, yo fam, just get some sleep, yo. We going somewhere tomorrow. Curious where he's gonna take him. Was he talking about the captain's meeting or something else? Because he's like, yo, I'm gonna take you somewhere tomorrow. I'm imagining there's probably another stop that he's going to take Asta after they have this captain's meeting to start the training for his powers. But the captain's meeting begins, and oh, I love it when they show us all the captains there in a room together. We got Jack the Ripper, we got Charlotte, we got Nozel, we got them all there. Well, the ones that remain. And it seems as though everybody was right regarding the vice captains playing the role of captains in terms of regarding the meeting, because you got Yuno there as a placeholder for William Vengeance, because obviously William can't be there. And I just gotta note something, because I've seen some people pointing it out, and it does seem very plausible. You see Yuno's face in this chapter and a couple of expressions. He does look awfully similar to Xenon. He kind of looks a little bit like he could be Xenon's brother. I don't know, this is what's been floating around. It does look plausible, which would make sense how the hell the rebellion happened all those years ago in Spade Nation, when, you know, Yuno's family was the ones that ran it. If his brother, maybe an older brother, was the one that started or joined the rebellion, he could have given all the intel and really fucked the Spade Nation back in the day. So that'll be interesting to see a sibling rivalry. I wonder if we're gonna have Yuno go down a dark path. I think Yuno's character up until this point has been very, I don't want to say bland or whatever, but it's been by the book, very linear of a character of just like, hey, he's, you know, special and shit like that. If he went out on a darker route of like wanting vengeance against this dude so bad because of what happened and what happened to his people now, and, you know, learning what happened to his people from the past and shit like that, I think that would spice up Yuno's character of him just getting really aggressive and wanting to kill Xenon at all costs. I would like that shit. That could give a type of vibe, nowhere close to it, but still something similar at the very least, of like a Sasuke and Itachi type of situation. You know, I would like that. And I mean, we've seen him get bodied once before, so he's going to need some training. They're all going to need a power boost. And they find out that Yami's been abducted, all the captains, and you see their different reactions. Like, you can tell they all care. Like Charlotte, even though she's like, oh, these men pathetic, and then in her mind, no, not my Yami swan. I love that. That's the best pairing in Black Clover. Like, yeah, Asta Noel or Asta Mimosa, whoever, fine and dandy, but Yami x Charlotte, best couple. Those little comedic chapters we had at the end of, or the beginning of the time skip, were priceless. And yeah, when she's getting all worried there, but she gotta put on that stern look, I'm like, just say you want his meat stick. Like, just say it. And then, you know, continues to describe of like, yo, they're at the very least stronger than a brigade captain, basically saying that they're stronger than them and whatnot. And Jack the Ripper, in his own way, is getting pissed off because of the Yami situation, because of them taking L's and shit like that. He's like, you sure you just didn't get scared and exaggerate? Like, yo, what the hell, Mr. I almost got defeated. Like, yo, Jack the Ripper was going in, but that's his way of expressing how he's frustrated and upset about the abduction of Yami. Again, he's a hardcore, like all the captains for the the most part, all like hardcore badasses. Not all of them, but a good chunk of them, right? They can't express it in a way of like screaming and crying. Like Charlotte, she gotta uphold her image. Jack the Ripper, he's a fucking psycho, and he gotta uphold, like, you know, he's the Kenpachi. Kenpachi ain't gonna burst out crying and screaming. He's gonna go and get his. Cause Jack tries to go off. He's like, screw all you guys, I'm going. And Nozel knows what he's about to do. Nozel starts screaming like, yo, where are you going? And I love the drama. I love seeing all the captains together, especially in a situation like this, because they're all pissed off, they're all mad, and getting the squabbling back and forth. This is like a rare time where you see really all the captains are so emotionally distraught by this situation, with the destruction of the Golden Dawn, William Vengeance being abducted, especially Yami being abducted, because like, even if, like, you know, he's like the lazy bum of the group or whatever, whatnot, you still love him, you still care about him, he's still part of, you know, the captains and shit. So what happened to him got them all angry. And even Nozel says like, yo, don't you think I want to kill these people with my own bare hands as well? Like, yo, just relax and shit. Like, I loved it. And this captain's meeting, it was just a really bittersweet one, because even Fuegoleon slams his hands on the desk like, everybody just relax. Like, yo fam, Crimson Lion leader, you need to relax too. We get it. Everyone's pissed off. Notice throughout that whole captain's meeting though, and maybe it'll change in the next chapter because the meeting ain't over with the ending and whatnot, but we saw that Julius is there, but Julius ain't say shit. I'm curious why. Like, you know, he's at the end of the day, he's the Wizard King. He's supposed to be the leader above all of these captains and whatnot, but he ain't really say too much. I think there's a possibility, you know, he's allowing everybody to get their grief off and you know, say what they gotta say or whatever, but he should be giving directions and giving kind of order in a way. So it was kind of interesting that Julius really didn't say much and he didn't commentate. I guess you could also say that, like, now that he's a kid, it's hard for him to really, you know, like, these are grown-ass men and they're looking at him like, yo, Pipsqueak, shut up, you know. So, but it was kind of, I did catch that they're like, yo, Julius, you ain't gonna say nothing? And then we hear, you're motivated, if nothing else, that's good. And Nacht shows up with Asta under his arm, so it's kind of funny, even though it's not Yami, the Black Bulls, like, they're all kind of similar, whereas, like, yeah, Yami probably would have showed up the same way with Asta under his arm, and we got Nacht, which, if you think about it, now, you know, looking at it in terms of the story and the narrative and with these characters and whatnot, Yami finally recognized Asta at the end of their battle, right, against Dante and whatnot. Like, he finally recognized him. He probably wouldn't be treating him completely like a squirt anymore, because he was treating him like an equal on the battlefield and shit. So introduce Notch, that is going to, he hasn't seen Asta prove himself or anything like that. In fact, right now he's looking at it like, yo, he had a failure with Yami being abducted and shit. So now you get that type of relationship between the vice captain and Asta, where maybe Yami wouldn't be that much like that with Asta, considering he gained his respect and they fought on equal terms against Dante. That's something that I caught as well. And he's like, I hate people who can't hold proper meetings. I don't suppose you could be quiet for a while, captains? And they look like, yo, they about to, like, he got balls. Like, you in the captain's meeting with Jack the Ripper, Nozel, Charlotte, all of these dudes, and you talking like that, you got some cojones, Notch. But he's, like I said before, a very vital piece to all of this, because if he's been spying on the Spade Nation, he got intel for all of them. He can give them some insight on what they need to be able to accomplish this, how long they have until Yami and William are used to open up this tree and you know, open up the gates to Demon World. So he's going to be very, very important to this whole situation. And yeah, this chapter, it was a build-up chapter. It was definitely not as hype as like the last, I don't fucking know how many months since we started fighting the Dark Triad, but it was in and of itself a very small and contained, angry situation. Very bitter. You could tell the captains are pissed, but yeah, curious what you guys think about this. What you think Notch is going to tell them? What type of insight is he going to have over the Spade Nation? What do you think are going to be some of Asta's upcoming abilities after he learns how to use that devil power from Notch? And where the hell you think all this is going to go? Do you think there's a possibility that Yuno and Xenon are related? And your overall thoughts of Black Clover and expectations for chapter 263 and beyond. I can't wait to see where the hell this is all going to go with this captain's meeting. I love captain's meetings, especially all of these captains. Like, yeah, it was intense. But that's all I have for this one. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram. Hit that bell to get all notifications. And if you want to follow any of my other social media, links in the description below. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day. And remember the golden rule. Anime and manga for life, boy. Have an awesome day. Peace in.
It's nights like this, and time